When it comes to becoming rich and building wealth, it is not about the amount of money that you make, but it is about the amount of money that you do keep. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about how to get rich on a normal salary. Now, we know the normal salary in the United States is $55,000. So if you're above and below that, it is really how you manage the money that you get. A rock star salary does not guarantee wealth. A lot of people that I do financial counseling might make $50,000. Some that I financial counsel make $200,000. And of course, all of them are living paycheck to paycheck. Whether you earn a little or a lot, it depends what you really spend it on. When the money is gone, the money is gone. Now, the good news is when you start saving and when you start putting yourself first, makes a big difference when it comes to regular salary, regardless of how much you earn. No matter your income, wealth starts with the budget. Whether you're making $50,000 a year or $500,000 a year, you will end up working and really living paycheck to paycheck if you don't take inventory of where your money is going. You can call it a budget, you can call it a spending plan, you can call it a life plan, whatever you want to do. It is about the financial accountability that you have. Making sure that you know exactly where your money is going is going to empower you to use money essentially wisely and also look at places when you can cut back. When you start building out a budget, there are a lot of things you start to notice month to month is, of course, where you can save money. Anything that you can cut back, whether it be subscription services, getting insurance for cheaper, maybe saving on an auto loan, whatever it is, you have to make sure where you can essentially save money, because if you're saving money within that budget or that spending plan, those are funds essentially that you can allocate to another means. Now, of course, when you look at money management apps, there are a ton of them out there. You could do old school Dave Ramsey pen and paper, but for me personally, I do use an app. And for this, I do use the Every Dollar app, which of course is Dave Ramsey's app. Works incredibly well in managing. There is a free version of it, and there is also a paid version if you do want to unlock everything. But overall, it does incredibly well in knowing exactly where your money is going, breaking it into categories, and knowing exactly dollar for dollar, exactly where the money is headed. Tip number 2 is growing your income and not growing your lifestyle. That is right. When you think of lifestyle creep, when you think of keeping up with the Joneses, there are so many cases where when you get a raise, the money is going to go somewhere. You're going to buy more things. The money is not going towards savings. It's not going towards investments. It is human nature to spend more when you earn more, which is the reason, like I said earlier, between $50,000 earners and $150,000, most of them are still living paycheck to paycheck because, of course, things just got exponentially more expensive. You have newer cars, you have more expensive toys, you have a bigger house, a more expensive price tag. Now, when it comes to lifestyle growth, it can grow with income. However, you can earn a king's ransom and never get rich and still be poor paycheck to paycheck. There's no shortage of multimillionaires when we think of, pro athletes living at that. As people tend to earn more money, they will always find a way to spend it. This never stops, really. When you look at bigger houses, when you look at more upscaled cars, more dinner out, more high-end travel, it is the lifestyle creep that we see that is going to keep you essentially from getting rich and from building wealth during your lifetime. When you imagine a wealthier version of yourself like I do, every dollar goes towards building something, growing something. It is really the slow funnel of money into things that essentially are going to build wealth. This is really getting outside of lifestyle creep, making sure that you're saving, making sure you're investing on a regular basis. One thing to do is not rising your standard of living when you get an increase. So guys, think about this. If you get a 5% raise, you put 3% of that into a 401k. Let's say you put it into a brokerage account. Let's say you put it into an HSA account. Then you multiply that over 10 years with the 3% you're putting in there. The savings plan or the retirement plan is going to be huge. Now with this, also setting retirement goals. Majority of individuals that I really do the financial counseling for, couple things ring true to almost all of them. Number one, they don't know where their money is going. They get a paycheck, they pay whatever they think they need to pay, including expenses. At the end of the month, most of the time, there is nothing left over, or they're continuing to borrow money. Number two, they don't have any long-term goals. Retirement, whether it be 20, 30, 40 years away, majority of people don't think about retirement until around 40, 45 years old, which is kind of crazy because right there, you just cut the compounding interest exponentially that you don't have the ability, because of course time is the biggest factor when you do want to build wealth and when you really want to get rich and have a considerable lot of money and also a really good retirement. It is about the compounding effect that we see with money. Now, of course, when you think about savings, this is the reason why when you start younger, when you start now, saving money in an investment account, saving money in an emergency fund, not taking on additional debt is going to be a game changer for the rest of your life. Because of course, when you start earning more money, you can allocate a lot more towards retirement. You can allocate it towards savings, and even allocating it to things you want to do in life that you want to accomplish. If it's going to school, if it's your kids' education, if it's going on that dream vacation that you've always wanted to, you can go ahead and pay for those things and you don't have to borrow money to do it. And this is one of my favorite ones. Aim to get rich, not to get rich quick. When you look at cryptocurrency, when you think of all of the things in the market, everybody on YouTube that is selling you the get rich quick, I made $30,000 in a month and you can do too. Amazon drop shipping, you got a store, you can do YouTube, you can do this, you can do that. Majority of people never get rich quick. It takes time, it takes very dedicated effort. When you start looking at, Bitcoin billionaires that got ahead of the curve, real estate gurus that say investing in real estate is the only way that you're ever going to make money. I mean, short of possibly flipping houses, which a lot of people lose money, it is slow, steady, long-term investors are the ones that are the billionaires. When you think of Warren Buffett starting investing at 11 years old, went through a lot of investing, it is really the tortoise that beats the hare when it comes to building wealth and when it does build really being rich and having a rich life, not only just money. When you start thinking of a rich life really with the normal job, what are the things that make you have a rich life? To get a rich life can mean entirely different things to different people. It might be having enough money to essentially pay all of your bills, still have a little bit left over to do whatever you want to. For some people, it's going to be having millions of dollars invested in the bank, which for a lot of people, they will not use it. It will sit there. And for me, it is building generational wealth. That is what I think when I think rich. We don't live extraordinary. We don't keep up with the Joneses. We buy used cars. A lot of things that we do financially are going to make a difference when it comes to wealth building for generations to come. And the final one in here is reevaluating your relationship with money. Now, this, of course, is something in the United States that most people do not talk about. If you've ever had in sit-down conversations with your parents or with your kids, when it comes to actually finances in general, it is really frowned upon in the United States. And we are one of the only countries that frown upon the relationship with money. There's no hard, fast rules, regardless of what you do, to really form good money habits. But if you put them down, one rule of thumb is really drawing the line between those needs and wants, which is funny because I have a second grader. They went over needs and wants in second grade. I know grown adults that do not realize and really have no concept of what the difference is. When you start looking at luxury items, when you start looking at basic needs, you have to know the difference. To train yourself to not look at money just as paper, but really what can you do with your money? That is the empowerment that I found through education, is when I look at a dollar, where can I use this dollar? Where can I turn this dollar into two? How long is it going to take me with an investment strategy? Dollar cost averaging into the market, essentially cutting back on things. And I've done that in kind of a crazy way where it comes to the non-essentials. I don't go out to eat. We don't go, to gas stations to get a quick snack. We're not doing Starbucks coffee. Even though a lot of people say, hey, if that's what makes you happy, absolutely go ahead and buy it. But it doesn't mean you need Starbucks every day. Even if you cut it down to 2 or 3 times a week, could make a really big difference when it comes to buying. Now, of course, when it comes down to luxuries, this is the part where the frugality for me kind of kicks in. Buying stuff that has a lot more value, that is going to create and really sustain for a multitude of years. If I'm buying a shirt and the shirt is $50 and it's going to last me 3 to 5 years, versus buying a bunch of $10 shirts that are almost going to be disposable. You're going to go ahead and wash them. You're going to wear them once or twice. Most of the time, they're going to start falling apart because of the quality that we're seeing in a lot of things. Now, of course, your earnings can very easily go up in smoke with lifestyle creep. That is the reason why we really wanted to talk about it. Good mindset means that really thinking about the money is your tool to get to the future. Securing that emergency fund going to make a big difference. Making sure all of your debt is fully paid, including credit cards. And then, of course, putting money into an investment accounts that are not only going to be for retirement, but anything else you want to do in your life. All right, guys, so that is going to do it for today's video. Some very, very simple steps that you can get rich with just having a normal 9-to-5 job. And again, it's not about how much money you earn. It's about how much money you keep at the end of the month, and really keep that in mind. And how can you leverage it to keep more money at the end of the month? So guys, again, that's going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.